What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's edition of Gaming in My Mama's House, the podcast with myself, Super Dave. And this week, we shine the light on the local animation scene with a really, really dope project that I am totally in love with. It's called Ultrazulu. And joining me today are the brains behind it. Ladies and gentlemen, in my mama's house, I'd like to welcome Siyamthanda Peter and Wonderboy Gumede. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
We're good. Doing good. Thanks.
You guys good?
Good.
Sweet, man. Welcome to Gaming in My Mama's House. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's been a long time coming. I've been following you guys for some time now, and I've been seeing all the cool shorts that you posted. And prior to this, I had another platform on a national radio station, and I kept thinking to myself, when am I going to get these guys on? When am I going to get these guys on? And we're finally sitting right here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dave.
No. Absolute pleasure to have you here in my mama's house. Before you guys started working on Ultrazulu, because obviously that's what you're pushing right now, I'm sure there must have been like an animated movie or film when you were younger that made you fall in love with the art of animation itself, you know?
Yes.
Can you guys take me back there? Let's start with the lady, right? Ladies first, man. Yeah.
Okay, I'd say a short, well, it wasn't short, it was a feature film, actually. It was Lion King for me.
Oh, it was Lion King for you,
Yeah, I think I was around the ages of 7.
Yeah.
I was 7 years. My mom got a VCR player, and we had the cassette, and we'd watch it on repeat, and I'd always wonder, like, how was this made?
Sure, yeah.
You know, because it's, you know, animation has so much exaggeration in it. You know, it's not like your normal film that your film movies that you watch. So I'd always wonder, like, how did they make the lion speak? You know?
Dope,
How all these worlds built, you know, all of these things. So I'd say that was the feature film for me that made me wonder more about animation and got me to be the animator I am today.
Oh, that's so dope. Wonderboy?
Yeah, I'd say I share a similar sentiment to Siyamthanda.
Yeah.
For me, it was Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp? No way.
Yes. I think it was the first cassette my mom ever bought me.
Yeah.
And like I would just look at the cassette and like, just peel away the cover and look at
and
all
page
these,
through.
Just look at the illustrations. It was before the DVDs with the book. It was just the cover itself, and just observe like how they painted some of the covers and stuff like that. Yeah, and man, it just got me going, you know. And then further on, moving into like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z,
absolutely,
all of that stuff. So we can't, it's what inspired the craft to what it is today, in a sense.
You know, that's really, really cool. And for both of you, has drawing been an ability you've had since you were young, or did you learn to draw? Because I know apparently you can learn how to draw because everything is a shape. That's what I've been taught. Everything is a shape. It's either it's triangle, it's square, it's rectangular, and that's the foundation that you use to draw something, right?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, drawing, I was inspired by my dad.
Was he an artist?
Yeah. He is an artist, so he was much more into fine arts though.
Okay.
So he used to give me his art materials, like your charcoals, your pastels, your paints. Yeah. And then I started getting around like drawing, and he'd show me how to draw certain things like human features and eyes and stuff. And from there on, the rest is history. Yeah. So I ended up getting into art schools as well. So drawing has been part of, you know, my childhood, teenage years up until now. So that's how it's been for me.
Okay, so you never had the challenge of convincing your parents that this is something I want to do,
No, I never went through that because already there was an artist at home.
In the family,
he actually, you know, he was my cheerleader.
Oh, wow.
He was like, this is something that you can actually do. So with animation, it was a bit different for him because he wasn't familiar with it. Okay. So it was also a new ground for him. And he was also interested in finding out how does this thing work. And he found out through me. So he got me into those spaces and into those schools to make sure that, you know, I get all the knowledge that I need to make Ultrazulu.
Oh, that's so dope. Wonderboy, for yourself?
I grew up in a family of artists as well.
Yeah.
But mainly like crafters more than drawers. And then later on, I figured out that my mom could also draw, plus my dad. So I then heard that there's an uncle that unfortunately I didn't have a chance to meet.
Yeah.
That he was also like great artist within Istrata.
Okay.
So this one time.
And where's this? Where's home?
It's in Chesterville. That's Durban.
Durban, okay.
KZN, yeah.
KZN, okay.
So this one time, me and my grandpa were fixing like a storeroom. We're extending a storeroom to become a bedroom.
Yeah.
Right? And then I find these 2 choir notes of like, I think he used to draw on them.
Yeah.
Exercise book. And I saw like the way, like his line work was so amazing. I was just like astounded by looking at that. And from there on, I said that this is what I want to do. You know, I had other guys in the community. We would draw. There's a cul-de-sac, go Road 16 like a ring in it.
Okay.
So we would draw on the floor. I'm a characters of Dragon Ball Z with Amaja and stuff, with chalk and all of that stuff. And at that time we were just playing, you know. Yeah. But I realized that, you know what, this is the one thing that doesn't get me bored. I didn't get bored as a child because of just purely drawing and watching cartoons and stuff like that. So that's what kind of got me into it.
Oh, that's really dope. Yeah. Personally, I love cartoons. I've always loved cartoons and video games. So I'm always intrigued when I meet people who do this for a living, whether it's gaming or animation, you know. And talking about like the earliest days of you guys drawing and falling in love with the art, then obviously taking it all the way to varsity. Mm-hmm. Your favorite local animation series that you can think of off the top of your head?
Super Strikers.
Super Strikers.
Yeah. I started reading the comic book from Sunday Times. Yeah, that was my jam.
Yeah.
So every Sunday, I'd make sure that my dad gets that newspaper, and I'd find, you know, the weekly comic that you'd get. So I was very interested in those comic strips that you also find at the back of newspapers, and so for me that is the first South African I wouldn't say animation, but, you know, cartoon that I had a relationship with.
Oh, that's pretty cool. For yourself?
Yeah, I think back home we have a newspaper. I haven't seen it in Gauteng. It's called Isolezwe.
No, we don't. I know about it, but we don't get it. So
there's this guy called Taps. You know, he used to have these segments of like political satire takes, you know, on illustrations.
Was he like the Zapiro of Isolezwe?
Yes. Okay. So he's the generation after Zapiro.
Okay.
You know, so I remember in high school, you know, the guys, they would see like some of my sketch and be like, you know what, you must find this guy. This is before social media where you could text someone or DM someone. You know, you should be like, and just find out where he is.
Yeah.
And then maybe he could like, you know, give you some tips and stuff like that. So that, for me, was kind of like the first cartoon, like animation family within the family of animation that I got exposed to, and I think it paved the way to later learning about Super Strikers and so forth. Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet Ucaps?
I've never met him.
You've never met him?
Maybe now I might. I have a chance maybe now.
Does he still do stuff for Isolezwe?
He still does it. He still does it.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool, you know. And once you guys have fallen in love with the art of animation and you realize that you can actually study this and you can take it all the way to varsity, how are the varsity years? And juggling your passion, and also like maybe you have friends that are doing like really serious careers. Someone's trying to be a doctor, an engineer, but here you are saying, okay, cool. And luckily both of you come from households that have artists, you know, so it's easier for your parents to understand, for them to say, okay, cool, you can pursue this. But then how do you, tertiary life, tell me about that. How do you navigate that space?
Do you want to go first, or
you can take it?
Oh, okay. For me it was kind of interesting because, you know, coming from high school, there wasn't a lot of artists that you could share your work with, you know, like to create that sort of network. And then now when you come into varsity, you've got all these different modules and facets of studies. You know, you hang out with people that are doing IT and all of this thing. And then I was doing just graphic design.
Okay.
You know, so unlike traditional animation, which Sia will go into because she studied that purely.
Okay.
We studied the programs majority of the time, you know.
Okay.
Whereas multimedia, you have to be on edge and be on the lookout on what's the new trend and stuff like that. So it was kind of exciting for me more than anything. I was just a sponge in varsity. I absorbed as much as I could because I understood from the history of graphic design that art or animation is not just strictly about animation. You have to draw inspiration from the cultural aspects, from socio-economic issues, culture, you name it, sciences, agriculture, and so forth.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't quite see the challenge of it, but I became a sponge just to absorb as much as I can, and just to pour out all of those findings. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And for me, I would say it was intense.
Mm-hmm.
But
studying animation as a whole.
Yeah.
Is it different from how he experienced
it?
Yeah.
For me, it was in depth.
Mm-hmm.
It was intense, but I could say those were the best years.
For real?
Those were the most fun years I've had in school because you get to learn how these things that I've always wanted actually work.
Yeah.
Compared to high school. In high school, I went to the National School of the Arts, so we did a lot of visual, fine arts, pottery.
Yeah.
We worked with our hands a lot.
Yeah.
And then when we got introduced to the digital arts, which was at the animation school, it was a completely different thing.
Different ball game, yeah.
You have to now learn the interface of, the softwares and the technicalities that go behind, creating these animations, and you have to bump up your drawing skills. So I initially went there to do 2D.
Yeah.
But I found myself in the 3D space.
Okay.
And 3D is totally different from 2D because you're looking at things in a different way now.
Yeah.
You're looking at the form of an object, how it looks on every different angle.
Yeah.
And you have to be observant.
Yeah.
You have to build like a visual library in your head of how things look, how they function, how they piece together.
Yeah.
So it was intense and it takes time, You'd have an animation that is 2 seconds, and that is like what? One frame is...
A second is 24 frames.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 seconds is 48.
Okay.
48 frames.
48 frames, okay, okay.
So you have to...
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it, but you have to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes part of your life. You eat, sleep, breathe animation.
Yeah.
And I would say that it changes how you look at things as well. You don't look at things the same after that. I mean, even with the equipment around me, the way that I look at it, I look at those spheres, those cubes, and everything. So, it was an amazing experience nonetheless, as much as it was intense.
You say that, I think a lot of people don't realize the work that goes into making a feature film, let alone a short, and I didn't know this up until I started learning about the Pixar story and how they got assembled, and obviously with Steve Jobs being one of the early investors into the building. Then they made Toy Story. Then the studio was a success. Now they're part of Disney. They're like a huge machine, and there's so many elements involved into making a movie. Where do the two of you meet? Because one is he's like graphic design trained, here you're like a full-on 3D artist. Where do the two worlds intertwine?
Oh my goodness, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, I'll tell the story. Okay. I would say that nonetheless of the different faculties that we both studied, but I would say that in our spare times, even before we met, we figured that out as soon as we started conversating and forming a relationship, is that we were so passionate about animation, before we knew the softwares, we would do flip books, I'm sure you guys also do. Yes. And then, so by the time that we actually met, which is, we met here at Timologong.
Okay, Momovets.
Yes. So that's where we met, but Siyamthanda at that time was an alumni.
Okay.
So she had already... I think you started in 2019. And then I joined in 2021, which is the year I came to Joburg. So I'm quite new here.
Okay. Hopefully Joburg has been good to you.
No, it has been. Hopefully. So by the time we met, we kind of had this vision that we'd like to form like an Avengers of creatives, you know.
Wow, okay.
Back then it was a lot of us, you know. And then obviously, you know, everyone goes their own way and stuff like that. But we had this one vision that, you know what, wouldn't it be nice to create an animation project that later could be of heritage, you know. And then I brought an example of like Dragon Ball Z. You know, when you go to Japan, there's a whole subculture around that sort of fandom. Fan base, you know, like Pokemon is a worldwide phenomenon right now. So we're like, why can't we like just test the waters out with the project? At that time, Ultrazulu was not even a title. You know, just I don't know. Do you want to add on that? I don't want to.
For sure. So it was a thing of. We tell a lot of stories, you know, together and conversate about our backgrounds, our cultures, the things that we used to do in our childhood, you know, the games that we used to play. And so it got to a point where we also touched on the type of cartoons we watched, you know, in our childhood. So I remember there was one cartoon on ETV, Josie Zoo.
Josie Zoo, okay.
Josie Zoo was quite, you know, different from the stuff that we usually watch.
Was it done by Mike Scott?
I'm not too sure.
You guys, you know Mike? There's a guy called Mike Scott. He's really good. Like he's really good. I was reading up on him last night, but it's okay. I digress. Sorry.
So Josie Zoo, I was like, okay, this feels, you know, South African. You know, the accents, the way these animals are acting, and everything. I'm like, we don't really see much of this. And it would be nice to have more South African animation on our screens and all that. And considering. At that time, I was like, one day I would like for my children, you know, to watch South African made animation. And then I made it my task that one day I'm going to make animations for my kids.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
So here we are today, and we work together pretty well. I have a background in production management for animation. So I'm more of a creative producer because I also dabble in the drawing, the story, script writing aspects of things. So, I think we make quite a solid team because we have so many skills together. So, we've been pushing this thing together.
It's been, you know, I was actually thinking while we were downstairs that Ultrazulu, it's not like there was a day that
it was formed.
This day, you know. It's a lot of events that accumulated to what it is or what it's about to become, you know, because we also have aspirations for the future with the project. You know, we pour so much into it. And I think one of the most important discussions we had when we saw that the project is starting, we sat down together and be like, you know what, Siyam, we've been through so much. And if we can raise a child together, what is a project? A project is nothing, you know. We've got a healthy little daughter of ours, you know, and she also is an inspiration and a drive for us to actually push. And so we were like, nah, man, like, if sikwazi ukukhulisa umntwana omuhle kanje ngendlela enhle kanje, you know, iyini project. So that's the one thing that anchored us to like go hard on it actually.
Oh wow, that's so beautiful. And with that said, man, since you both probably have experience working in the local scene, do you think the local scene in itself suffers from a lack of funding for young people who want to pursue this as a career? Because obviously, just like you said, the cost of putting together an animated series is probably double, if not triple, that of putting together a soapy or a telenovela. Because of firstly the manpower, the time that you need to put in it, the resources required for it. Whereas at least with acting, you get the main characters. You have four Nyana stars, the superstars, the big names. They'll pull the people, the supporting cast. You put together a crew. You build your sets. You hire a studio. You shoot in a week. then you're done. Whereas with this is like a 4 to 6 month project.
Yeah. There is a challenge with that, and I think, just to answer your question, in terms of the funding situation, it does help.
Yeah.
It does help a lot. The only thing that I could highlight is that when you have a group of people, let's say like there's 5 of you guys, maybe one is the animator, one is the cleanup artist, one is the sound guy.
Yeah.
It's always best to communicate with your people first, because you can't do your project without the funding.
Okay.
But the hard part is that it's convincing everyone to see the end vision of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Not to say that without funding it cannot happen. We don't have any funding.
Yeah.
Till this point, we're doing it based on our free time.
Sure.
And we just like pour in as much as we can. We've got other work that we do on a daily basis, but we always, like, there's a schedule that Sia came up with, and it's quite healthy. We had this attitude that we'll put in our all to the project, and whoever feels the need to meet us halfway in future by funding, it will be great. But our target is not the funding; it's the project itself. So yes, there is challenges if there is no funding. But if you've got the right team with the right attitude, I believe that you guys are solid enough to go.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that there is a lack of funding for upcoming or independent artists, let me rather say. I think the people that should be funding us are not really taking animation seriously, or like the art space is not being taken as seriously as it should be. It feels like for them it's just one of those things. Like, I'm a Popeye. It's a Popeye. Smashing mali. So I just wish that people could see the importance of art and how art is in everything. I mean, you could just take a look around. It's in your adverts, it's in the clothes you wear, it's in your furniture, it's everywhere. And I feel like it deserves that respect and to be, held up to a standard of value as well.
Absolutely. And just touching to what Wonderboy had said with regards to how cultures are built off the back of animation, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Mario, the Mario, Nintendo. Like there's so much that entities that are built off the back of just cartoons or video game characters, like entire industries, and even like Japan has an entire tourism and like industry based off these entities that they've built, and they see the vision in that. And I think maybe that's something locally that I think our leaders can also see. But hopefully we'll get younger leaders and they'll
absolutely
open up.
They'll open up to it. Talking about open up to stuff, let's talk Ultrazulu. What is Ultrazulu?
Oh, Ultrazulu. Should I take it?
First,
Okay, Ultrazulu is a lot of things.
Okay.
All right. We like to say Ultrazulu is more of a movement.
Yeah.
Because what we're trying to do with Ultrazulu, we're trying to inspire the youth to be in touch with their heritage, to be in touch with who they are, to question how their culture, their heritage fits into the future. Because we in modern times, times are changing, and I feel that to a certain degree, culture is not adjusting to the changes that we are currently experiencing. So what we are trying to do with Ultrazulu is help the youth imagine a South Africa, but not a South Africa in a tech type of setup where it's just robots and all of these things. But how does our culture fit into our future and coexist with technology? So that's what Ultrazulu is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We don't want to give away too much.
Okay, because it's still, you guys are still cooking.
But we have love in Ultrazulu.
Yeah.
We have coming of age, we tackle a lot of themes, that I feel we need to see. And that represents South Africans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the animation style for Ultrazulu inspired by Black Panther or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Because when I look at the short that you posted on social media, and I've watched both movies, I have references, because you know how brightly animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and like the work that went into that project, even the sequel for it, Into the Multiverse, that's a whole nother level in itself. And apparently it took them like 2 to 3 years to make that movie, because it's so intricate. Am I wrong to assume that your short is inspired by both, or is it just only inspired by Black? Am I even allowed to say it's inspired by Black Panther?
No, I think none of the above.
None of the above.
Instead, that short clip is inspired by a lot of cultures around the world. Like, you wouldn't believe it that even Brazil is one of our inspiration hubs that we also took from. I'm sure you're familiar with the favelas.
Absolutely,
you know. So that sort of architectural aesthetic, we borrowed it from the Brazilian culture, and then in terms of aesthetic and the animation style of it, it was a bit of everything, actually. It was a bit of everything. We can't just put a finger to that. Okay, this we got it from Spider-Man and this, but we tried by all means to make it raw as possible. Not too over polished, not too crafted in such a way that now that this is done, because another thing, we said it was a teaser because it was our experimental phase. We're experimenting a lot of things there, the kind of animation styles that we wanted. Obviously you see a lot of it having what they call cell shading, instead of like that smooth shade that you would find in DVD covers, Similar style to Dragon Ball Z. So Dragon Ball Z, I think this is the 4th time I'm mentioning this.
You love Dragon Ball Z.
I do love it.
You still watch it?
I do, actually. I do. I follow like the storylines. I go back to back, watch fan-made stuff of it. I'm a huge fan of it.
Goku or Vegeta?
Goku.
Goku.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So man, it's just a mix of different styles. A lot of the animation that we borrowed from, or the aesthetics, are film festival animations that you wouldn't see on your blockbusters. It's underground people, underground artists that one day, when Ultrazulu makes it, we'll then call them out and be like, we were inspired by so and so and so and so and so and so. So,
talking about those inspirations, I'm sure you guys know Kobe Bryant. He had an animation short that won him an Oscar. Dear Basketball.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Is that the route that you guys are looking to take with your project? Is it a short or is it like a feature film?
At this point, it became a feature.
Because
through the script writing, we realized that all these ideas and juices we have, we couldn't fit into a short film. So we just decided to make it a feature at this point.
Oh, dope. Okay. And the Oscar route, is it? Well, I don't know, like the steps that animators have to take to get to be considered for the Oscar. Obviously, you have to submit, but I've heard that you also have to go like a festival route, where you have to submit to different festivals up until you get to the Oscars. Is that a route you guys are willing to go?
We actually have already begun.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
I've been doing quite a lot of research on how to get your short film, feature film now, your film out there as much as possible, so that you can widen your audience. So there's a platform called Film Freeway. That's where you find a lot of festivals. So we actually submitted the teaser to a few festivals, and we've gotten positive responses.
Wow, that's so cool.
And we've also submitted to Fagukesi, which is in Tsimologong.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that is the route you actually have to take in order for you to get to the Oscars.
Yeah.
You have to submit to certain accredited festivals that would then, make it much more easier to submit to the Oscars. And hopefully one day we get there.
Oh no, you definitely will. Yeah, and
that's the dream.
And I'll replay this interview when you're on stage and say I knew them first before me. Then I'll call you, but your phone will go to voicemail because you're big now.
We won't forget you. Trust me.
Like as talking about you touched on earlier on about tapping into culture and finding your inspiration in different parts of the world. How important is that for artists to maybe be cognizant of their environments and where they're from in order to produce work and going forward in their careers?
I would say that, the way art at this moment has been watered down, it's important for artists to be aware of almost every facet of life.
Yeah.
Because art is life.
Yeah.
If you think of it, philosophically, if you're going to go the deeper root on it, art is not just about entertainment. There's a level of a trance that happens in any art form, whether it's music, whether it's painting. There's a version of you that travels in the process of making whatever you're making. Mm-hmm. So it's important for one to have all their antennas up.
Yeah.
Through politics,
sure.
Cultures, the sciences, almost everything. Unlike if you look how artists were treated back then in the history of your Leonardo da Vinci's and all of those people were in the forefront of building almost everything that we consume today. And if we could bring back that dignity and authenticity to art, that will create even a universe of art that is beyond AI, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
Okay. And talking about AI, do you think it's beneficial to the world of animation, or it's going to take? Well, people say supposedly it's taking people's jobs, because people are doing prompts and the AI generates it. But do you think? Let me phrase my question properly. Do you think animators and AI can coexist, or one is more superior than the other? Obviously, you guys are purists. You'll always vouch for the artist, but for the young people that are at NSA right now that are looking to go study graphic design at whichever institution or take animation and go to the animation school, do you think this is a tool that could help them out? Or it's a tool that they shouldn't rely on heavily? Because obviously it has its benefits. So I've heard,
It's a huge debate. Yes, it's a huge debate, and I don't want to open up a can of worms and sound very biased,
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I would say that to each their own. I know that sounds very vague, but I'll go deeper to that. To each their own. From what we are trying to communicate with Ultrazulu and the arts after that, we wouldn't pro AI our processes. Because as you said, we want to bring back the dignity of artists, of artistry. If I'm phrasing it correctly, we still want art to thrive.
Sure.
As a culture, as a philosophy as well. AI is beneficial in some ways. I'm not going to discredit that. From a developer point of view, you find a lot of these programs that are used these days to create animation. They require certain upgrades and certain cheat codes, if I may call it, and AI can help in those aspects. For example, maybe it was a tedious job to do cleaning up of animation. Imagine cleaning up 1,700 drawings. Maybe if the tool can help you reduce that, then why not? But to rely on it in the sense of it can do the creation for you.
Yeah.
I'm not about that.
Okay.
Or I'm against that.
Okay.
Sia, what do you have to say?
I don't think AI can replace real artists.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I mean, we've seen the example with the AI posters.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Or even the animation, you can see, yeah.
And I also think that people will always have a need for human created stuff. Like you can almost tell. It's very, very easy to, well, for me I guess, but it's very easy to tell when something is made with AI compared to when it has that human touch. It feels like AI sometimes lacks that soul. It lacks the pattern recognition of a human eye. It can sense that here, this is something that is almost like copy paste. It's generated. So I don't think that AI can ever take people's jobs like that. Yes, it can, have an effect, but not to the degree that we had imagined.
Okay.
And I think if you ignore it, it won't do much.
I got you. And talking about working and being, I guess, professionals in a scene, how is the South African animation scene from people who work in it? Is it thriving? Are we getting more work internationally than locally? And what can be done to improve the local scene? Yeah,
I think with the local scene there has been an improvement. We've seen a lot of South African animators get work internationally. I haven't been 100% in touch with the industry as much as I was a few years back because I've been, in solitude and in my own space. But I've seen the works, what people have been producing. You've had your Disney Kizazimoto. You've had Triggerfish releasing your SEAL teams and all those films. So I feel like it's moving. Even if it's moving slow, but it's moving.
It's growing quite well.
It's growing.
Because another thing that we need to understand about like South African or let's say African animation. It's still in its infancy stages.
Wow.
It's a baby that needs some nurturing. So with that being said, everyone is going to make mistakes, but they're going to correct them, and we're going to grow with it. Unlike it shouldn't be like authoritative in such a way that this is how the animation industry in Africa should be.
Work.
That's not going to work. But if we allow it and accept it in being a child, that we all need to nurture and pour in, it will grow in ways unimaginable.
Oh, that's so dope. Your current favorite animated movies?
Okay, you go first.
I'm trying to think of one right now, because I'm going to be honest. I feel like most of the stuff that I've seen lately has been quite repetitive, and it's especially with your Disneys and your Pixars. Like what's the one that we just recently watched with the bird and the fish? This is on Netflix with Michael B. Jordan.
Swapped or something.
Swapped. The visuals are strong. All right, there's one thing I can say, but I will say that the story, a lot of animation stories are lacking. And they're not as strong as I feel like they should be. The visuals are always amazing, but the stories can sometimes feel a bit predictable.
Okay, cool. Let me give you this one. You have to choose, because these, I think, have these two I'm going to mention have been like for me, have had two of the best storylines I've seen in animation in a while. And you're right with the repetitive nature, because obviously if you talk, it's called Swap, ne? That has a similar storyline as Hoppers, the Disney. Coco and Soul.
You know. You've got a good
eye. You have to choose one between Coco and Soul.
So
and why?
I'll go with Soul.
You go with Soul.
Yeah, I'll go with Soul. You know, I'll go with Soul simply because of it was a beautiful representation of an African or African American, I would call it, you know, but a brown person being represented in that film.
Yeah.
And you could see the like the spirit, the spirituality of it.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
you know, that is so beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
They took time with it.
Yeah.
I have a thing with African hair in animated
or like
movies.
in texture. Yeah,
like since I was in school, I've always been like, they need to get the hair right. They're not getting the hair right. And I feel like they definitely did. I mean, the skin tones were amazing. The features were beautiful. I feel like they really took time with it. They took time with the story. The story was very touching. What do they call it? The spirit world.
The spirit world. Yes.
That also was like, after you watch that movie, you just want to go and change your life.
You want to be a
you want to follow your dreams. You know. So I feel like that film did what it needed to do. You know, to inspire and to move its audience.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was an amazing movie.
And what's next? Talking about inspiring and moving movies that are said to shift the generation. What's next for Ultrazulu? What's the next step? The teaser's out. I love it, and I'm sure people you can check out the Instagram at Ultrazulu, right?
Yeah.
That's the handle. Yes, and see what I'm talking about. Well, what's next for Ultrazulu?
So now with the production that has kicked off, we are set to release the film in 2027 to 2028.
Yeah,
wow.
So what we're currently busy with right now is script. We tying down the script writing. We're still on our first draft.
Oh wow, okay.
So soon we're going to go into our storyboarding. From there on, we get out an animatic. Yeah. And then, it's the whole shebang.
It's the whole shebang. Yo, that's so lovely. And what do you hope what do you hope and which heights do you wish for the SA animation scene or the African animation scene?
I would say what I wish to see, right, in the animation scene is creating our own culture. Yeah. You know, creating our own community, something that we can be proud of, something that can inspire the youth to actually change their ways, do better, inspire them to dream, you know, to have a better vision of the future. You know, a tradition of our own, like you had mentioned earlier on that Japan, they have their own tradition. I would love to see that happen with the South African animation scene. You know, we have our own type of Comic-Cons, our own museums of our short films or our films and all of that stuff. So that's what I really hope. For me, my biggest hope is for the children to be inspired, our future to be taken care of, and to dream. I just would love to see more children dreaming, you know.
Most definitely. I can't take or put in a word to what Sia just said. You know, to top that up, it's exactly the same sentiment. You know, we believe so much in this project, not only on it as a product, but as a movement, as she once said in the beginning. You know, we want to see it empower a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of us that have questions about our cultures, you know, about our differences, and we hope and pray that Ultrazulu helps some of us or those people navigate their way through the answers or to the answers.
Okay. In closing, animation as an educational tool. Do you guys think that children would learn better and understand some concepts of the world if those concepts were put in an animated form?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Most definitely. I was a visual learner. Okay. I needed to see, you know, especially when it comes to our textbooks. If I see the pictures and the pictures, they show those 5 donuts.
Yeah. And if someone takes away 3, how many are you left with?
You see what I'm getting
I get what you're getting
so
at. So
if you add a spin of animation there and the donuts are moving and they're coming and they're going like wheels, then, you know, the information is in.
It's in, yeah.
You know, I'm passing that test, I'm acing it.
Yeah.
So I do believe that children do need that option of having, you know, a visual aid to help them, you know, with their education.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the parents out there, you know, like we come. I'm glad you guys come from families that actually embodied animation and the arts. You know, not so for me. My mom didn't understand cartoons and video games, but she took her time to sit down with me and watch these things to a point where I told that now she gets it. Oh, okay, no, this was he loved Pinky and the Brain. He loved Animaniacs, because those are the stuff I used to watch every day after school, you know. But she didn't understand why walking into the you know. Yeah, up until she sat down, she was like, oh, okay, this is what you're consuming. This one looks a bit too adult. You can't watch. You can't watch this one, you know. To the young people like us who have little kids, and they're also struggling a bit. Obviously, their children now are part of the YouTube generation.
Yes.
So it's not traditional TV like us. They've got tablets. It's on 24/7. What would you say to them in terms of their kids embracing animation, and should they also be very hands-on in what the children consume?
Definitely.
Can I take this first?
Sure, go for it.
I think that's for me. It takes me back to 2002.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, there was a World Cup in Korea in 2002. There was these animated. It was a series that played before the game.
Okay.
You know, the 3D animated characters and stuff like that. For me, my mom knew, or she kind of like predicted. She said to me while we were just sitting watching that during the World Cup thing. Yeah. She said, "This is what I want you to do."
Okay.
And at that time, I did not know the difference between 2D animation or 3D animation.
Yeah.
And you see that kind of as a child, hearing that from your parent, you know, it gives you this spark that never dies easily. You know, so with parents these days, I believe that they should take initiative on supporting Uthando lwengane, especially like you mentioned, they got tablets these days, but obviously, you know, monitoring the kind of content, as you said, your parents chose or like sheltered you from certain, you know. So I believe abazali, they should take that step, you know, like because at the end of the day,
absolutely,
you know, you just need to revisit that inner child within you in order to communicate with your child.
Sure.
And I believe that that's what parenthood is about, or should be about these days.
Yeah, most definitely. Talking from experience, we have a 2-year-old. She loves watching your Miss Rachel's. We stay away from Cocomelon because I've done like extensive research on screen time.
Okay.
It's important to research, you know, on the things that your children are watching, because they could overstimulate the child. They could learn behaviors that you don't want your child to have. So I think it's important for parents to be extremely involved in the upbringing of their children, the things that they consume. It's also important to stay away from the screen, you know. To activate that imagination, the child needs to go play with something, even if she's just playing with the cardboard box. You know, that's important. She can, because now she has a very huge imagination. You know, the other day she was using a carrot as a car.
Sure.
You know, and so balance is everything. Being involved, supporting your children, the things that they want to do. If you're not familiar with it, get into researching it and find out more about what that is about. You know, I think it's very important to make sure that you are what is it? You're knowledgeable of the things that your kids are interested in, such as your gamings. You know, my brother was a huge gamer, so And my parents never understood that. They'd be like, oh, you're always sitting in your room. You never come out. You know, you don't eat. You game. And, you know, it was his thing. And one day my mom also took interest in, like, how does this thing work? It was, oh, you like this because of this. It has different levels. You're not just playing the same level over and over again. So, yeah, I think parents being involved is going to help, you know, for the betterment of the future of our kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for your time and for being my guest today on Gaming in My Mama's House. That was very lovely, and there's some brilliant takeaways from today's episode, man. I truly loved it, and I appreciate your time. And for you watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe right here on the Idiot's Guide to Gaming. Until the next episode, peace.